In 2020, Americans faced two deadly epidemics, COVID-19 and a record number of drug overdose deaths, a 30% surge over 2019. Drugs are now deadlier in the US than cars and guns combined, and in San Francisco last year, overdoses killed more people than COVID-19. This rise in drug overdoses may have been aggravated by the pandemic, the social isolation, job loss, and shutdown of treatment centers. But the data is actually worse than it looks, because this acceleration preceded the pandemic and is driven almost entirely by the rise of one drug, fentanyl. Fentanyl is an addictive synthetic opioid 50 times more potent than heroin. It's a painkiller approved for cancer patients who need something stronger than morphine. The problem is the pharmaceutical industry's aggressive sales tactics, pushing fentanyl on even non-cancer patients. This company, Insys, bribed doctors to increase prescriptions for their fentanyl spray.
The more you write, the more you're going to earn. The more you increase the strength, the more you're going to earn.
That's their VP of sales, pictured here inside a fentanyl costume for a sales video.
I got new patients and I got a lot of them.
He went to prison along with their CEO and several others. But the damage is already done. Pharmaceutical production of fentanyl is declining, but they spawned a lucrative market. Addicted consumers now seek out counterfeit pills or powder, and because fentanyl is so potent and cheap to produce, unregulated drug makers secretly mix it into heroin, meth, and cocaine to make inferior product seem stronger. That's why there's so many fatal overdoses, because many people don't know they're taking it. Or they don't realize that 1 in 4 counterfeit tablets contains a lethal dose. Just 3 milligrams of fentanyl will kill you. Here's what that looks like next to a lethal dose of heroin. There are test strips to help drug users identify the presence of fentanyl, and naloxone to rapidly reverse opioid overdose, even lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies. But none of this is enough to reverse the surge in overdoses. The US government has historically found the will and innovations to protect American lives. To combat skyrocketing traffic fatalities in the 1960s, Congress passed a series of laws mandating vehicle and highway safety standards. Despite the ever-growing number of cars on the road, efforts like seatbelts, speed limits, airbags collectively cut the US traffic death rate in half. Granted, cars don't cause chemical addiction like fentanyl and other synthetic opioids, which is why drug overdoses are growing faster and already killing more Americans per capita than motor vehicles did at their worst. It's once again time for Congress to step up and save American lives. If you need help, there are licensed treatment centers that specialize in substance use disorders. Go to findtreatment.gov or call 1-800-662-HELP. It's free and confidential.